Eva here. My question to you is, what if this was your Last Supper? Oh, that really makes me feel good. Well, you know what? People are acting like it's the beginning of the end. People are moaning and groaning and moping, and people are scared. People are sick. People are dying. But what if there were another perspective? Yep. Think about this. See, I have a little different attitude about this. Many people think of the Last Supper as a very dramatic, which it was, a very solemn, because it was a saying goodbye. For those of you who don't know the story, the night before Jesus was crucified, he gathered all of his disciples together into this room, and he washed their feet. He told them how much he cared for them, how much he believed in them, and he served them. See, I think we may have lost sight of, during these trials and tribulations, of how we can serve each other, how we can love each other. See, it's so easy to, on Facebook or on Instagram, throw a dart. Last week I talked about, does it come from a joyful heart? Is it kind, or is it a dart? And when people are scared and when people are frustrated, sometimes darts get thrown. But what if, just think about it, go with me here, what if there was a different perspective? See, I look at the Last Supper as actually the beginning. I look at this Last Supper as a celebration. I look at the Last Supper as a way to serve, a way to look at the world from a different perspective. To me, it's more of a celebration, because it was at the Last Supper that Jesus anointed, appointed, and set the church on fire. Or actually kindled the church, because it didn't really get set on fire until the upper room, and that's a different day. So imagine this. Imagine you look at Maundy Thursday not as a time of mourning, but what if it's a time of new beginnings? Kind of like quarantine. I know, quarantine really, everybody hates quarantine. But historically throughout the Bible, God has used a period of 40, or at the time of Pentecost, 50 days to reset time, to reset nations, to reset individuals. So what if this is a time of resetting instead of a time of mourning? What if we looked at it as a time of new beginnings instead of a time of endings? A new season. Kind of like Psalms 23. You know, I love Psalms 23. And the reason I love it is because so many people think it is the funeral song. But you know what? It's not a funeral. It's actually a new beginning. I mean, listen to this. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. As long as you have a relationship with God, you are never alone. even if you're in isolation, even if you're in quarantine. I remember when my husband was traveling 60% of the time, and I would just panic whenever he said he was going away until I heard the audible voice of God. Yes, I did. And he said, Eva, why don't you want to spend time with me? Well, I took care of that. That time away became my special time with me and the Lord. And so what if this time of quarantine is a special time for you to be with God, for you to be with your family, for you to be with the ones you love? He makes me lie down. Now get this, he makes me lie down. None of us are in quarantine because we want to be. He makes us lie down in green pastures, and he leads us to the still waters. Do you hear that? Do you hear all of the chaos? Do you hear it? It's in the quiet times that we can hear the voice of God. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness. You know, it's when things get really quiet that you sit and you reflect. And some reflections are good, and some reflections are, yeah, I probably could have done that a little better. I don't know about you, but I'm not perfect. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake, not for me. See, we need to take a paradigm shift. Shift it from what we need from God to what God needs from us. And maybe this is a time of resetting our families. Maybe this is a time of resetting our priorities. Maybe this is a time of resetting our mind, our nation, our world. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I will fear no virus. I will fear no death. I will fear no man, no political party, no government. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, I speak unto you that there is no fear in your life. There is no fear because God walks with you. Whoa. When you realize that you're not alone, when you realize the power that's in you, even in quarantine, what do you have to fear? I remember the day we were in a mountain in a metal gondola and a lightning storm came up. I was terrified. But Keith, I just love my Keith. I love God's Keith. He said, Eva, what do you have to worry about? The lightning, maybe. What's the worst that can happen? We get a promotion. See, the thing about this is if you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, if he's your Lord and Savior, we don't need to fear what's beyond because we know what's beyond. If you don't know what's beyond, check in. Check in with someone who has peace in the middle of the chaos. I will fear no evil because the Lord is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. That's why we can laugh. That's why we can go swimming on Zoom. Because what's the worst that can happen? We get a promotion. Because whether you like it or not, life is forever. There is an eternity. One way or the other, you have an address on the other side. Do you know where that is? Mine is 1-800, my Father's house. He anoints my head with oil. He makes my cup runneth over. I need to back up. He prepares a table in the midst of the virus. He prepares a table. He prepares the food. He prepares you. But you have to choose to accept it. But I'm so alone. Well, pick up the phone and call someone. And I am not disparaging Depression is a real thing. Loneliness is a real thing. Extroverts hate isolation. But reach out. Make funny videos. Call a friend. People that you haven't talked to. Maybe this is a time of resetting relationships. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. How about a paradigm shift? How about this Maundy Thursday? Instead of having a celebration of despair, what if we had a celebration of what's ahead, the new season, the resetting? Because whether you like it or not, the world will never be the same again. But if we are secure in who we are, if we are secure in our relationship with the Lord, if we are secure and at peace, then no matter what the new normal is, you will not only survive, but I declare and decree and proclaim in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, that you will not just survive, you will thrive. We declare, decree, and proclaim in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach that this is the new you, and that your season is the season of new beginnings. May the Lord watch over you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord hold you in the crook of his hands. And may goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life. And may you forever dwell in the house of the Lord. Be it here, in your living room, or out past quarantine. Be blessed in the most powerful name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ.